Hey ho, EDCI 706ers. Dr. Palermo with your week 11 instructional video. I hope y'all had a wonderful Halloween. It is November and a rainy day in Pittsburgh. So here it comes. I mentioned that this is a reading and writing time of the semester. Our class meetings are done, and you're deeply into writing evidences and items for me to read. I am reading in waves as I responded to someone this week. I will be writing the FCEP wave, formative assessment wave, later this week. So get those in if you haven't already. I tend to try to group those and read them at the same time, thinking a lot about the rubric as I'm reading. And I guess I do compare them to one another, but mostly compare them with the rubric. Again, if you're getting something back in that formative phase that you want to revise, turn it around quickly, please. So I read PLCPAs last week. I'll be reading FCEPAs this week. And then I hope that some of you are resubmitting your PLCPAs in their final form for assessment in Blackboard. If I told you it was proficient or better, then it's time to send it over to TaskStream. So start your TaskStream submissions for the semester with your PLCPA if I've already told you that it's proficient and that you should do that. Hey, last week, Chapter 10 had the sociogram assignment in it, and I've had fun reading your sociograms. Several of you analyzed the communication on your teams or in your departments, and Shana Good used a program that made the communication in her school look like a pinwheel or a Ferris wheel. It was very pretty. Look at Ms. Good's sociogram if you haven't. Most of them were really great, so I had fun checking those out. This week, I hope something that is as helpful to you in the reading from Hall and Horde. It is Chapter 11. In what ways can team member skills and process consultants affect implementation? A whole bunch of this is OD, organizational development, and every school is different about the level of organizational development. Do you have structures and protocols for team meetings, for faculty meetings? Do folks adhere to those? I've worked at schools or been at places where a faculty meeting was a bulleted list, just a list of suggestions for the principal to ramble on for an hour, to very structured, facilitative leadership style minutes and agendas posted a week in advance. Well, there's some very helpful and I think practical stuff in Chapter 11 that I want you to look at, please. If you were, again, looking at effective teams at your school for your PLCPA, Table 11.1, the characteristics of effective teams would be good. Over on 11.3, I'm going to ask you to come back to this when you're thinking about the dialogue for this week. The effective meeting protocols, the list of is an agenda posted several days in advance? Is the purpose clear? Time and place appropriate? So you're to analyze a meeting. Doesn't have to be a faculty meeting, but some of those are prime for improvement. So analyze a recent, an upcoming, if you can get it in this week, meeting and provide some feedback for the leader, whether they are interested in it or not. Make recommendations for improvement of that meeting based on those protocols or best practices. The strategic planning bullets outlined in 11.4 are a great SI process. In other words, again, there's really good, helpful, practical stuff here in Chapter 11 that I hope that you'll use. On 262, a SWOT analysis. Where have you heard of that thing before? Anyway, good and helpful stuff, much of it that has been incorporated into your program. So we try to model, walk the talk sometimes. And that's the big picture for Chapter 11, Hall and Horde. It's about effective process. Do analyze a process meeting at your school and give us some recommendations. Do work on your writing. FCEPs this week, and you should be working on your PE. So that's all. Spend a little time in chapter 11 this week, but get your artifacts written, rewritten, and into task stream eventually. Thanks. Have a great week.